Rico Governor Pedro Pierluisi was officially sworn into office last month, and he has now called on constituents to help him battle the island's common enemies.
Yeah, those include crime, poverty, inequality, and of course, this COVID-19 pandemic. And the governor of Puerto Rico, Pedro Pierluisi, joins us now. Governor, thank you so much for being here. You've praised your island's efforts. You all have a high vaccination rate. In fact, Puerto Rico has ranked somewhere in the top 5 compared to the other 50 states, to the 50 states in terms of vaccination rates. What is it you all are doing so well?
Well, we're acting with a sense of urgency. We have the Department of Health fully engaged. We have the National Guard as well supporting our health department. And we're doing what we have to do. I mean, we're getting roughly close to 50,000 vaccines each week. Now with the 20% increase that the Biden administration is implementing, we're very appreciative. We're getting our share based on our population. We're American citizens. And this pandemic is hitting us all in the States and in Puerto Rico, and we're an island. So we have to be very careful in dealing with it. And that's what we're doing. Hopefully, we'll get that herd immunity by the end of the summer, as President Biden is hoping. And that'll be great for Puerto Rico and for America.
And speaking of the Biden administration, Governor, they just announced releasing $1.3 billion to Puerto Rico in aid stemming back from 2017's Hurricane Maria. So what are you going to do with that $1.3 billion?
Well, this is to help expedite the vaccination process, and we'll use every penny. What has happened in the past is, unfortunately, is that sometimes we face requirements that the states do not have to meet. And we complain about it because, after all we want is equal treatment as American citizens. I am very grateful that the Biden administration is now changing the way that the federal government is approaching Puerto Rico, finally.
You've said a couple of times here, we are American citizens, and you said as well that you are maybe seeing a change in the way the federal government looks at Puerto Rico, but statehood. The citizens, your folks there in Puerto Rico, did vote in a referendum. About 53% do want to see Puerto Rico become the 51st state. Do you now believe you have more momentum? And given the breakdown and the numbers in Congress now, do you believe this is the time and you have a chance, a real chance at statehood?
What we're talking about is equal rights. I mean, what we want is to vote for the president. We want to have a voting representation in Congress and equal treatment in federal programs for the well-being of our people. So now with the Congress, with the Democratic majority in both the House and the Senate, we're more optimistic. I expect the House to take this matter to a vote, and I would like the Senate to do the same. But we'll keep this fight. We'll keep this fight because it makes sense. It's been more than 100 years as American citizens, but not really full American citizens. You move to Puerto Rico, TJ or Amy, and you lose rights just because you're going to be living in Puerto Rico. That makes no sense. It is like geographic discrimination. And bear in mind that as American citizens, when the going is tough down here, people hop on a plane and move to Florida, Texas, New York, and that doesn't help Puerto Rico either. So finally, I hope that this issue will be addressed and that we'll have full democracy in Puerto Rico, as we all should in America.
And Governor, you talk about the well-being of your people, and you really mean everyone there in Puerto Rico. You recently declared a state of emergency there for violence against women and transgender individuals. A lot of your constituents were asking you to do this. What does that change? What does this do in the fight against this type of violence and discrimination?
Yeah, it's been too long. This pattern of male chauvinism-related violence, feminicides, homophobic and transphobic violence. We want to promote diversity, respect each other. And what I'm doing is putting funds where my mouth is, actually, because I just proposed a budget including $6 million to increase the resources of all the agencies dealing with this. I want every victim of violent crime, particularly women, but also people, transgender community, LGBT community members. I want them protected. If they have a protective order, the law enforcement at all levels, state, municipal, should be keeping an eye on them on a daily basis to make sure that they're not exposed anymore. And so I'm going to be dealing with this. It's about time. Enough. We call it machismo in Puerto Rico, but it's just chauvinism. And we had 67 feminicides last year. Each and every one of them is tragic. We want to put a stop to this, and I will do everything we can to accomplish the mission.
Yeah, I can feel your passion. It comes through the television screen there. Puerto Rico Governor Pedro Pierluisi, we know you are a busy man dealing with a lot of different things at the same time, so we appreciate you taking your time to be with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.